Ahmed, please tell me, why would I ever need a slide deck if I have my online UI UX design portfolio in my website anyway? Why would I need it? And today's video will answer this question exactly, and also how to go on about creating a slide deck so you actually pass your final interviews and get your first UI UX design full-time job offer. Now, before I show you in today's video the slide deck I actually created for myself that got me 3 full-time UI UX design job offers, I want to explain why we use a slide deck in the portfolio presentation part instead of just using our regular online website portfolio. Well, there's two big reasons. The first is it is very hard to use your online portfolio while you are talking and communicating your ideas to the interviewers that you are actually talking with. Scrolling is hard. You have to manage your scrolling option. You have to make sure that you are only showing enough information for one particular screen view, and basically web is not suited for that. Web is created for scrolling. It is not created for like going through one screen to another, which is what a presentation does. It lets you have and show only one thing at a time. The second reason for this is that usually your online portfolio will have a lot more content and will have a lot more explicit things, because the reason we create your portfolio for your website in a way that it is currently done, where you have a lot of visuals and a lot of text, is because there is no person who's explaining the key ideas while a new person is looking at your portfolio. When a person stumbles upon your online portfolio in your website, do you have the option to go and say, hey, this is what I meant in this section and this is what I meant in that section? No, you do not. But when you are showing your portfolio as a walkthrough, you can explain more, which means you have to remove more information. You cannot have the information present to them visually with all the text and you saying and communicating the same idea anyway, because then why should they listen to you? We have all been in that teacher's class who's actually showing you the presentation they have on their screen, and they are exactly word by word, verbatim saying what that presentation says. And nobody is listening to what the teacher is saying. They are all focusing on the screen and reading. And that is not what you want to have for your portfolio. That is why you need a slide deck. Now, before we go on and start the how to do this part, please subscribe to this video if you like my content, and subscribe, click the button below, and I would really appreciate it. And let's go to the how part. Alright, so now that you know that you need a slide deck or a pitch deck for your interviews, for your UX design portfolio, how do you go on to create it? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the overview of the slide deck I created for myself that got me 3 full-time UX design offers. And I am going to walk through a project with you of how I laid the information and why I laid it in a certain way. Now, let's begin with the first slide. Now, how I'm beginning again is, who am I? What I do? I'm a product designer. This is the very first screen. I have a picture of me. You might choose not to. I just added it. And you can also see here the notes here is that if you are not that good in presenting yourself, you can always write a few notes here that you can also read from. Now, after this, I start with the agenda. I have to set expectations of what this portfolio will be about, how we will walk through, and what will the map of the portfolio be like. So we will begin with about me so that I set a context for them. Again, what are they trying to see at this point? This portfolio presentation walkthrough usually comes either in the third or fourth stage, almost at the last interview stage, where they are interested in you. They want to see how you solve your problems, and they want to see primarily how you can communicate your ideas. So they are testing you on your communication skills as well. If you made it so far, your design skills are good, your background is checking out. We want to see if you're a good fit and you have passion and you can communicate. So you give them a bit more about you, and the reason for this is usually when you're doing a portfolio walkthrough is that while you might have seen one or the two of the interviewers, you might not have seen the whole team, and sometimes a whole dev team might be present in these interviews. So you have to give them a bit more information about your background in case somebody here there is someone you never met before. So I give them the paths. For me, I began getting interested in UX design in university, and look at how little amount of written content is in this screen. I start with my path, and then I have three logos. The reason is I want them to focus on what I say, not what is written there. If I wanted to only give them written information, I wouldn't be speaking. I want their primary attention to me on my mouth, and I am using my visual skills here to convey the remaining gaps, right? So basically, once I explain my university background, I go to the second part where I explain to them where I did my first software engineering internship and where I got interested in UI UX design. And then I would go to the third part, which would be my first UI UX design job. I actually worked pro bono at a startup called Haligon, right? And then I go over some of my career highlights to build social proof. This is important, and this is important for you to do an inventory of your skills, soft or hard. What kind of proof do you have that you are a competent worker? That will show your skills and your edge. And again, if you want to delve deeper into how to do this, now is the time for you to invest and learn. And again, ask yourself, take a piece of paper and basically come up with the things that would actually make you stand out. For me, it was all these other freelance work I did, pro bono work I did for other clients. Thanks to my internship, I got to work with a Siemens client there. And I also had released a UI design course on Udemy. I could show that. I could show the number of experience. I am basically enumerating the great things in my career that would make me stand out. Then I'm showing the agenda here. And then we go further. And then we come to agenda again. Now we are going about the first project. So first project, Haligon, and again, very little amount of sentence, just one sentence here, what it is, and a visual here of what the app looks like. I tell what kind of an app it is. Is it a mobile? No, it's a web app. And I am still setting context here. I'm showing the team. I am showing a project overview here, what I did, duration, my contributions. And then what I'm doing is I am now setting the context of the project, and I am again, look at how minimal amount of text there is in my images here. I am speaking a lot here. Each slide usually takes a minute, and I'm talking. I have to make this very simple for you to understand. Your slides are there to assist you, not do the work for you. So if I'm talking for the context, I would say one of the biggest things that impacted this project was the COVID-19 pandemic happened, and the founders actually thought of a solution that would help the small businesses in our local community. That's what I'm saying. The only thing I have to say is COVID-19 picture and people social distancing, etc. Then I'm setting the main goal with a question of the project. How can we? Then I'm moving to the design process, which starts with the research. and I am giving numbers of the user interviews I did. You will give the numbers, so it doesn't matter if it's a side project or not, but having more numbers is good in this case. And very little text. I am showing the key insights I had, trying to memorize them as much as I can, and then I move to the user persona. Now it depends on how many primary, secondary personas you had for your project. I believe I had 3 here, and all these personas have goals, frustrations. And again, when I'm going through them, I do not read from story or goals here. I am mostly talking about this code and what it means. I let them do the scanning the content on their own. Then we come to customer journey. And again, look at how each screen does only one thing here. This screen only does the persona, and this screen only does persona, and this screen only does the customer journey, which basically reduces my work, because if I was just showing my portfolio online, I would have to worry about how much scrolling I would have to do just to show a part. There is nothing like that in a presentation. And then we are going to the goals of the prototype, and we are at the second step process. And then we go through the process of the testing and the initial sample workflows. I explain how I created the workflows here, and then we hit the wireframing stage. And what I'm trying to show here is also if I did usability testing, I'm showing the before part and after part. As in here, this is the before, this is the after. With the text, I explain what we found out. This is before, this is after. And only then, after going through research, wireframing, problem statement wireframing, usability interviews, and doing user testing and showing what we updated on wireframe, do I go to final design. My goal is to explain my design process. It's not just pretty images here. And then we show the high fidelity images. And now that I am looking at my, and again, some text there that might help. And now that I am going through all these things, I realize, for example, some of my UI design mistakes, maybe the gap here is too much. But what matters is that I am following the process at the impact part, showing them the results we had, testimonials we had, and that is it. I am using very little sentences. I am using as much visual media I can to actually reduce the information overload. I am talking much more. I am presenting and having only text in my slide if it's helpful, just enough to make them understand what's going on, but to delve deep, they have to listen to me. So their focus is on me. And I'm following my design process. I ask myself, does this screen do only one thing? And if the answer is no, I split the screen, because I want my work to be very minimal. When I see a screen, I want it to be boom, boom, boom. And basically have the screen do one thing will ease your work, because you don't have to remember as much. Now, that is it, guys. That is the slide deck's first project that actually got me 3 full-time UI UX design offers. Hope you found it very helpful. And if you like this video, again, if you like my videos, please click on that subscribe button below. I would really appreciate it, and take care.